now at 6, primary election results in the district. Some candidates already being crowned as projected winners this morning. Plus, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger set to visit Fairfax County today, what she is expected to do in order to continue her push for ensuring women have access to proper health care in the Commonwealth. And a potential travel nightmare for the 4th of July holiday. The local airport that is set to close for several hours that weekend. Your news at 6 starts now. Hey, thanks for being with us, and we made it to the middle part of the week, which is cruising right on through with more great weather as well, and got all the news you need coming up in just a couple of minutes.
That's right. Good morning to you at 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Tucker. Hey, Annie Mae.
Welcome back, Marissa.
Thank you. Yeah. It's good to be back.
What?
What about me? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Annie Mae had a day off. She did.
It's not
okay.
Steve, I'm sorry, I missed it.
We don't spend 8 hours a day together.
Let's do the
I'm
forecast.
kidding. Do the forecast.
Do the forecast.
I'm okay.
Clearly I'm in trouble. It's not even 6:01 yet, and I'm already got some explaining to do. God, I do this at home every day, too. All right, 67 in Washington, 59 Dulles. And so here's the deal. We're going to get warmer air in here later today, a little more humid, about 90 this afternoon. And we could have a couple of showers and thunderstorms. In fact, already had a storm across southern Maryland this morning. Maybe that got you up. That was the action went severe at one point. Plenty more on the forecast, but much of the day will be dry and just more clouds than yesterday. We're getting warmer near 90. More in just a moment. All right, off to my bestie, Annie Mae.
You have 25 minutes to make it up to me. We'll take a look here as you're headed out 6:01. Wednesday morning commute overview-wise, this is what it looks like for you. We'll take a closer look Muddy Branch Road in Gaithersburg. If you're traveling through that area, keep in mind there is a closure for a police investigation at West Diamond Avenue, so follow police direction in the area. Back to you.
All right, anyway, thanks very much. We're going to start with the primary election in D.C. Former D.C. Councilmember Janice Lewis-George with the lead this morning for the Democratic nomination for mayor.
And that's just one of several key races. Another filling a seat of the longtime D.C. Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton. And Melanie Alwich is live this morning with more on the breakdown of all the numbers. Morning, Mel.
Good morning, and some of those results coming in late because some of the polling places were actually held open late. Some of them did not close until 10:45 p.m. And so the AP estimates about 64% of the votes received so far have been counted. And in places like Ward 2, less than half of those have been counted so far. So results will still be coming in later today. But here's how it stands right now. In the mayoral race, 52.79 ranked Janice Lewis-George as their first choice, and 36.57% of voters ranked Kenyon McDuffie. The remaining 5 candidates each getting less than 3% of the votes. Only 95,211 ballots have been counted so far. This is D.C.'s first open mayoral race in 2 decades, with Mayor Bowser stepping away after 3 terms. Kenyon McDuffie's campaign focused on public safety, economic growth, and protecting home rule. Janice Lewis-George made affordability, housing, childcare, and education the center of her campaign. Last night, she spoke as if the top job is hers.
The foundation of public safety is trust. Policies that break trust between our communities and government only make us less safe. As mayor, I will work with anyone who makes D.C. safer, but I will also stand up to Trump and anyone who targets our neighbors.
Eleanor Holmes Norton, Robert White took 63.16% of the first choice votes. Brooke Pinto coming in with only 21.45, a margin she acknowledged is just too great to overcome, according to the Washington Post, calling White to concede around 11 p.m. Now, as we know, this is the first time D.C. voters are using that ranked choice voting system, which the Board of Elections says ensures that the winner receives a majority support. If no candidate gets more than 50% of the vote, then the ranked choice system kicks in, and so that's why it is important to see how the rest of the votes fall. By the way, Attorney General Brian Schwab, he will be returning to office with more than 90% of voters ranking him as their first choice. Those mail-in ballots can continue to be received until June 26th, as long as they were postmarked by yesterday.
Melanie, thank you. There were several other key races on the ballot in D.C. yesterday, and we have all the results for every race on our Fox Local app as well as fox5dc.com. Voters in Maryland and Virginia will also soon head to the polls for their primary elections. In Maryland, early voting is already underway. It runs through tomorrow ahead of the June 23rd primary. Voters will decide on their nominees for governor, U.S. House seats, and local races. And in Virginia, in-person early voting starts tomorrow, and it will run through August 1st. Voters in the Commonwealth will decide on nominees for a U.S. Senate seat, U.S. House seats, and local races. Primary election day there is August 4th.
The body of a Montgomery County man and Towson University student was recovered from the Potomac. 20-year-old Nausbaum disappeared Sunday while swimming. Friends say he slipped under the surface after jumping from a spot off the Billy Goat Trail in Great Falls. We also now know the name of the man who was shot and killed by D.C. police yesterday on a Metro bus after another shooting. Police identified him as Sean Williams. Authorities say Williams shot and killed Melissa Wallace Pulliam a short time earlier on the sidewalk at Wisconsin and Porter Streets Northwest. Williams then hopped on a Metro bus to try to get away, but police stopped the bus, evacuated passengers, and as officers approached Williams, police say he pulled out a gun and pointed it at them. The officer who opened fire is now on administrative leave.
Also today, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger will be in Fairfax County. She will be in Lorton touting her efforts to protect access to women's health care in the Commonwealth. We'll have much more in a live report in our next half hour.
6:06, beautiful look at the Capitol.
Beautiful.
Doesn't even look like what you'd see at 6 o'clock this morning.
Good morning.
Also, Tucker, I have an excuse for you for your Annie Mae oversight.
Good, tell me.
Well, it's kind of like how we have like the U.S. oil reserves. We have Annie Mae reserves built in. So sometimes it's like she's still with us.
That's what I tried to tell her.
That's a great way
I
to
said
put
that you're
it.
just like, you're always right here.
Exactly.
So
It's like sometimes she's not here, but it's like
Always
she's still
in
with
spirit.
us.
It's amazing how much explaining we have to do, Steve, to get out of even the smallest of situations. All right, let's do it. Good morning. So a few more clouds there in that live shot down at the Capitol than yesterday, and that is a warm front coming in. So we're going to be looking at eventually a warmer day than yesterday, a little more sticky out there. Humidity will creep up a little bit with more cloud cover. Might be a couple of showers or storms this afternoon. We have a few across southern Maryland and the eastern shore this morning, but I think for the most part we'll be dry later today. All right, live looking Bluemont this morning, and we're still very comfortable out there. No complaints. 59 Dulles, 67 at Reagan National this morning. Looking at the satellite radar, you can see that little flare-up of storms off to our south and east. It was in St. Mary's County a few minutes ago, now crossing the bay in and along the eastern shore there. And I think we'll be in and out of the clouds later today, and we'll see a couple of light showers develop this afternoon. And again, we were right around 80 degrees yesterday, closer to 90 this afternoon, 89, sunny and hot there. And there could be 20% chance. So I want to emphasize again, most of the day will not feature showers and storms. There could be a couple that develop later this afternoon. Okay, don't forget about the Fox Local app. Yeah, get it, download it today, and you can track all the latest news headlines and weather headlines right there. And of course, you have access to all of our weather information, including the latest forecasts on the radar, etc. And it actually tracks 24 hours a day where Annie Mae is, so then we don't feel like she's ever not here.
It's an Annie Mae tracker.
It's got a tracker on it.
Right? You can just hear me anywhere you go. You don't
Exactly.
you don't even need to track me. We'll take a look here. I-295 northbound direction. That's between the Beltway and the 11th Street Bridge. About 7 minutes there for that 6-mile stretch. Pretty normal here as we're kind of in the early hours of 6 o'clock, the early minutes of 6 o'clock. DC 295 southbound Kenilworth towards the 11th Street Bridge. It's around 10 for your commute there. Inbound 50 looking normal here for this hour. New York Avenue, it's between Kenilworth and the 3rd Street Tunnel is about 10 minutes for 4 miles. Finally, green here, 395 northbound Beltway towards the 14th Street Bridge. You can see what it looks like approaching the 14th Street Bridge. Right now, not seeing too much in terms of congestion, but you always will as you see what's approaching the bridge later in the morning. Steve?
A Fox 5 News alert now. At least one person is dead after a small plane crashed onto a Texas highway. Video shows people trying to smash through a cockpit window to rescue victims out of that plane that was on fire on the highway. This is in Laredo, south of San Antonio. Police say the plane was carrying 6 people at the time. Not clear if the deceased person was one of the passengers or in a vehicle or on the ground. At least 5 officers had to go to the hospital.
A suspect who shot 2 people inside a Wilmington, Delaware hospital is in police custody. That shooting happened yesterday afternoon at Wilmington Hospital. One of the victims died. The other's condition is unclear. So far, the suspect has only been identified as a 23-year-old man. He was arrested in Philadelphia. Authorities believe that shooting was targeted, but a motive remains unclear. The investigation continuing this morning into the deadly B-52 bomber crash at the Edwards Air Force Base in California. All 8 people on board were killed Monday after that bomber went down shortly after takeoff. The flight was part of a routine test mission. The victims have not yet been released. Their names. The investigation could take up to 6 months to complete.
A new potential roadblock in the deal between the U.S. and Iran to end the war. Tehran now wants Israel to withdraw all of its troops from Lebanon before the agreement proceeds. Israel, though, has already struck down that condition, and this after Israeli forces carried out airstrikes in several parts of southern Lebanon today. Meanwhile, the first tankers carrying Iranian oil exited a U.S. blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Negotiations on a final settlement set to begin Friday in Switzerland. The truce supposed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and resume 60 days of nuclear negotiations. President Trump delaying the nomination, meantime, of Jay Clayton to lead the U.S. intelligence community, making the announcement from the G7 summit in France, saying he delayed the confirmation in a bid to force Congress to pass a voter ID bill. That measure would require proof of ID to vote, but the bill is expected to fail due to a lack of support in both chambers. Search for suspects continues after an alleged terror plot to attack the White House. This during the UFC event over the weekend. Court documents show the group planned to send drones in from one side of the White House to push the crowd toward then what would be snipers. So far, 5 people have been arrested.
Your time now, 6:11, a potential travel nightmare for the 4th of July holiday. Still ahead, the local airport that is set to close for several hours that weekend. We'll have the latest on that.